everyone, and welcome back to the channel. And today we do a turnaround on a Boeing 747 freighter, so follow me along. So first on arrival, I'll connect with my headset to the flight interphone system and talk to the crew that at least the chocks are in place and that they can release the brakes for cooling and to check if there are any complaints. And after my talk with the crew, I found out the airplane has no major complaints or no complaints at all. And then it's time to start the walk around. And with the walk around we'll start, of course, at the nose area. Here we can check the radome, check if there's no damages there, and then we'll also check the pitot-static probes with the angle of attack sensor, and on the bottom you see an ice detector, and the same are on the other side. And then the next is the check of the nose gear. It will check the wheels. These ones are in good condition. The rims have still all the bolts. Hubcap is good installed, not damaged. And we check the general condition of the strut. See if the strut is not leaking any fluid. See if the nose wheel steering actuators aren't leaking any hydraulic fluids or are damaged. See if the torque link is still in good condition. And overall, this looks pretty good. And after the check of the nose gear, we walk back and check the overall condition. What's afterwards of the nose gear? Here we have the forward cargo door. We have a static port with a light that shines onto the wing. Here we have an intake of pack number 3, and here we come onto the radio altimeter antennas. Check if all the fairings are still there, not damaged. See if the wing leading edge is still good. No cracks in the lenses of the landing lights. And then we'll walk into the intake of engine number 3. Check the fan, check the spinner, check the temp sensors, the intake lip. Everything needs to be in, not damaged, so that it can continue on its next flight. And we quick look in the fan duct. The all blocker doors are still intact. Exit guide vanes are still there. The fairings are still there. Here we go into the exhaust. And a little smoke comes out of the breather tube that breathes the bearing casings. And the left hand fan duct. Overall, this engine is good to go. Up to the next one. In the meantime, we check the leading edge of the wing, the leading edge flaps, another fan, spinner. You see some erosion on the spinner. It could use a new paint, of course. No damage on the intake lip. And we keep an eye out for everything. No leakage, no damages. Although the aircraft isn't clean, the first sign of like an hydraulic leakage on a dirty plane is that it's clean in the area where it's leaking. Especially in the landing gear, then it becomes obvious that you have like a big leak. Here overall, the wing is good. Don't see any damages. Here the vent opening of the fuel tanks. And then we come at the winglet. See if that is still good. And then we see if all the static discharges are still in place. You can miss a lot, but if we find one missing, we'll have to put it in a book so it can be replaced on its home base. Here we'll see the flap fairings and the trailing edge flaps. Seals around the inboard aileron. And then we walk on to the right hand main gear. Once again, here you check if the wheels are in good condition, not worn, no fat is sticking in it, no big holes. If the bolts are in the rims, if the brakes are not leaking any fluids, the strut is not leaking any fluids, and if there is no hydraulic leakage from the lines, etc. In the video we'll see some liquids coming from the gears, but it is only water. That's because at extension these gears are ice cold, and in the moist air of Florida they'll catch up some ice, and then after landing that melts, and that's the water that you see coming down. Here we check the wheel well. Here you see an uplock. All looks good. From there we go to the right hand body gear. And here too we have good rubber and no hydraulic leakages, no damages. Once again you see liquids coming down, but it's all water. If there would be like an hydraulic leak and you would be confused that it would be water, hydraulic fluid has a very particular scent to it, so especially in a hot area you will notice that there is a hydraulic leak. So it's good to use all your three senses of smell, sight and hearing. And as it's accessible while just standing around, we have a look into the wheel well of the body gear. Normally we don't need to open any landing gear doors if you, for instance, do a walk around on an A350 or an 777. But as it is accessible here, why not take a look? And then we'll follow our path to the tail of the aircraft. And with the aft cargo door open, we can have a quick look on the door sill. It is here painted orange, see if it's not damaged. And then we'll walk up to the outflow valves. Here we have the right hand one. And of course on the other side the left hand one. And we have a look at the stabilizer, elevator, quick look back over the wing. The one making the noise is the auxiliary power unit, and at the moment that will give the airplane electrical power and pneumatic air to drive the air conditioning system, so we can still have cool air in the aircraft. Stabilizer, elevators look good. And we walk on to the left-hand outflow valve. And from the tail on the left-hand side we walk back to the nose and come upon the left-hand body gear. Here we do the same, of course, at the right. Check if all the rubber is okay. The bolts are in the rims, no damages, no leakages, and we have a sneak peek into the wheel well. And then here you see a handle sticking out. With that one you can open up the doors of the landing gear. And here's the uplock, the flap drive, pneumatic duct from the APU, service area for the hydraulic system, and everything looks pretty good. And then we'll walk on to the left hand main gear. Rubber is good, low leakage, bolts are still there, and with this one we're also good to go. And then after the main gear we'll have a look at the wing. See the flaps are still in good condition, no damages. So the flap fairings. See if the seals are still intact of the inboard aileron. And then slowly we walk to the wingtip. So we check if all the static discharges are still there. Fuel tank vent, valve lights, and then we slowly walk to the engine number 1. And then the last part of the walk around will be the left hand front side of the fuselage. I hope with this part you didn't get too dizzy. If you see something, say something, so let me know in the comments. And from here on we hop on to the inside.
No more. That's it.
And after climbing some stairs, we made it to the cockpit. First we'll check the oil quantity, the hydraulic levels, and the oil quantity is good, so I don't have to fill.
Still good.
This is not an ETOPS aircraft, so not all engines always have to be filled up to full. That is mostly the requirements if it's an ETOPS aircraft, but it's not. And it has a zone attempt status message already logged in the book, and that is for a forward cargo temp sensor. And then first I'll start with filling in the engine oil into the ACMS for the trend monitoring of the oil consumption. And after that I'll form some tests that also need to be done for the pre-flight check, and then I can sign up the book. And the first test that I'm doing is the standby power test. For that I need to pull one circuit breaker, put it on standby power, and see if the captain's display still stay on, and then that test is okay. That's good. Then we have APU and main battery discharge. Everything is working as it's supposed to be working. Back to the normal, and reset of the circuit breaker. And then the next test to be done is the fire test. And the test button of the fire test you'll find on the overhead panel, and I'll keep it pushed until I get a test passed or test fail. Then we'll have to troubleshoot the problem. This is a test passed, so the system is okay, we're good to go. But although the fire test was passed, I still have some status messages of smoke detectors that came up that need to be cleared. To clear that is at the moment just to turn on the air conditioning in the cargo base related to the faults. The fault is mainly because of the moisture in the detector. Florida is very humid, and then when a very cold aircraft comes in, especially when the air conditioner was set to cold on the previous flight, and some moisture will come down into the detector system, and we'll have to clear that out. I'm just warming up the forward and aft cargo that gives the detectors as faulty. Wait 30 minutes and clear the faults. And of course the aircraft goes nowhere without a bit of fuel. At the moment we don't need that much, it only goes to Bogota. And well, we'll here get the final fuel figures to the fueler, and we can finish the fuel.
Got 35.3? You have 35.3?
And then with enough fuel on board, it's time to pick up the ticket from the fueler and place the ticket in the cockpit so the crew can put in the fuel figures. And with also the cargo loading completed, let's just take a time to walk around the cargo compartment. And with this cargo airplane not fully filled for its flight to Bogota, we have a good view on the power drive units that push the cargo in and out of the airplane, the restraints that lock down the cargo pallets to the aircraft, and the rollers. It's a nice big open space to put a lot of cargo if you have the cargo. And the last part is to put the fuel figures in the ICAR system. It's not required for me to do it, but hey, I'm here anyway. And for me then the last check of the aircraft status page here. All clear, except for the one that's already deferred. And then the only thing left is the final walk around to see if there are no damages and everything is closed up, so the aircraft is ready to go. And the pushback. And for that I'll at least hope you enjoyed this video, and a little bit more if you finished the whole video with the pushback. And I would want to thank you for watching at least to this part. If you have any comments, suggestions, just let me know. See what I can do or answer them. And thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on my next video. Take care.
gonna push it in the corner or you wanna go, Sharon?